Hi, good morning. It's Monday, March 3rd at 4:32 a.m. I've been up for about a half hour. Well, I think I've been up since about 1 a.m. just like trying to get back to sleep, and I don't know if I ever really was successful at that fully. So it's going to be a long day. And today is lesson 61 in A Course in Miracles. We are now out of the review of the first 50, and we've gone into the next 50, I would imagine. I think there's probably a review after every 50. I don't know. So lesson 61, I am the light of the world. I love that one. I am the light of the world. And then it says to practice, like, I am the light of the world. That is my only function. That is why I am here. And I did practice that yesterday, and it was amazing. Yesterday was rare for me because it was a Sunday, and I went to 3 different community events, or basically things in the community versus staying at home nice and cozy doing my little hobbies, or reading, or just chilling, or thinking. And so I was actually out and about and still was able to practice I am the light of the world. And I just have, I went to church, which I hadn't been to a real church service in a long time. Real meaning I went last week, but it wasn't with the normal service, like sermon, reflection, all the things in a service. It was about the community garden, so it was like a educational and group activity kind of thing last week. So this was the first real service I've been into in a while, and it was amazing. It was Transfiguration Sunday, and I don't ever think I understood what that was before, and then yesterday it made a lot of sense. And I think I said that in yesterday's reflection, like, I'm going to church, and I'm really hoping, like, now with having done this practice of A Course in Miracles, I'm really hoping these reflections land in me differently. And it did. I was like, oh, this is cool. I like church. Like before, I liked the concept, I liked the vibes, I liked the feeling, but I didn't understand the biblical stuff. It didn't land in me. I was like, I don't get it. Like, I know Jesus was a real person. I believe that. But who is God for me? And like the God in the Bible is not like the God I'm trying to build a relationship with. I was like, I don't get it. And so, but now having gone through at least a portion, the first 50 of lessons of A Course in Miracles, I'm developing that understanding of what God is for me. And then having, in the meantime, since having been to church regularly, I've gotten way deep into my own spiritual awakening, which has been a wild ride, and a lot of self-healing and reflection and shadow work, and then dipping my toes into the whole non-duality thing. We're all one. There is no separation. That's all an illusion. So, I mean, a lot has happened with me personally since I went to church regularly. So when I went back yesterday, I was like, whoa. And it was Transfiguration Sunday, which is the definition of transfiguration was put up for everyone to see from the Oxford Dictionary, and it was like a complete transformation into something more of a person, into something more beautiful and spiritual. So it's like basically a deep transformation in the spiritual sense. I never understood what transfiguration meant before. I'm sure I was told. That's the thing with growth. It's like, I've probably been told all these things, but they didn't land. They didn't, like, there's a landing. It was more like, whoop, bounce right off. Or whoosh. And it didn't, like, the stuff is now landing. And I really appreciate, I'm really grateful for that. And so yesterday I went to church, had that amazing experience of like deep listening to the message, listening to the way things were landing in me, and just being present. And I remember sitting in those same pews not feeling as present in the past as I did yesterday. So there's definitely been some sort of transfiguration that's happened with me in terms of church going and church experiencing. So yeah, I really liked it. And then, so I can't wait to keep going and see how these messages will land. And then I went to this event at our local nonprofit yoga center. And it was a paid event, and it was a yoga teacher who was guiding a whole bunch of us. Like, it was a packed event. It was sold out. And then they expanded it and sold out again. And it was for like head, neck, jaw tension relief. And a client turned me on to this. Can't wait to fill her in on what it was all about. And because she's away right now, and she's a snowbird, so she's away from our area, and so she couldn't make it. So I said, "Oh, thanks for telling me about it. I'm going to sign up." Luckily, there was a few spaces left when I signed up, and I said, "I'll tell you all about it." So really, we just laid on the floor, and she guided us through all these subtle movements. And it was about like these ways that we don't think to release our own tension. And it was really enlightening. And I do this all the time. I have my own practices. I help clients with that. And yet I knew I can learn more, and I did. And it was really enlightening, like going through these different subtle motions all on the floor, not strength building, just more about like subtle stretches in our body with intention. There were different intentions for each one, and release. And it was really relaxing. I went like, there were certain movements that like put me straight to sleep, and I was like, well, that was weird. Why does that movement do that? Like, it's like taking me back to the subtle movements of maybe being in the womb, or being like rocked or cradled or something. I don't know. I was like, why is this putting me right to sleep, and then other movements wouldn't? I have to reflect on that some more, and maybe incorporate some of those into my own practice. Daily stretching. Oh, did you hear that? Practice. Yeah, that's been needing to happen for a while. So, and connecting with all these other, I think they were all women in the group. It wasn't open to just women, but that's who showed up. And every one of them was like, okay, because we went around the room and we're like, okay, why are you here? And just say your name and like what brought you here. You know, basically the way you open any event. And like every single person was like, I just hold all my tension right here. And literally every client tells me that. So I knew that was going to be like, I hold all my tension right here. Yes, we all do. It's a human thing. It holds our head up, this big bowling ball of a thing. Like, we all hold our tension here, and sometimes it creeps up into here and here, and then some of us hold it in our hips even more, and some of us hold it in the fascia within our feet. You know, it's like, so there are differences, but the majority of us can honestly say, yeah, I do feel some tension here. And I said I was there, and this is honest truth. I've seen an uptick in my practice of clients saying, I'm having a lot of tension right through here instead of just back here. A lot of it's creeping up into here, and I've seen a definite increase. This is on the rise. And I'm like I said, it's gotta be the state of our culture right now, like politically, whatever. There's gotta be something that's really causing us to feel so much tension, constriction right now. So that was a beautiful event. And then in the evening, I went back to that same place. Coincidentally, they were holding this event there, not related. And it was a community coalition building event, like the first meeting of these people who we know, who spread the word online and in person probably, and said, we want to bring people together to unite in connection, unite against hate within our community, and see what ideas do we have around that, around building community, integration, like cooperation, inclusion, all these amazing qualities. And I was like, yes, I want to be part of that. And so it was amazing. There were people, a lot of people I knew, a lot of people I didn't know, coming together all because we care. We all have different ideas. And what really stood out to me in all of this, like, I was just like, oh, wow, this is amazing. I was more in quiet mode, just observing and listening and like alchemizing, you know, like when all this information's coming in, and me being me, I'm like drawing parallels and like, what's the subtext of all of these things people are saying, and what's the umbrella, you know, like I tend to like, yeah, synthesize. That's what I was doing, synthesizing and taking notes like a good little student, like, oh, these are good ideas. And then I had already submitted my ideas online, and she read the ones submitted online, so I already got my words out there. But so for me, it wasn't about just like that. It was more for me about learning, like, even like what happens in our community, what resources are there, like what I don't even know, because I feel some amount of gratitude that I haven't had to need a lot of community support in the ways of like food pantries, crisis interventions, medical interventions, like tax preparation help. And Lord knows I've needed that in the past, but like there are all these services that our community, actually we do have a lot of community support, but it's, what I'm learning is everything is siloed. Unless you're in the know, you're not in the know. We don't really have a newspaper anymore. People are trying to get off Facebook. That was encouraging to hear. Like, I don't want it to only be on Facebook. I want some other way. And I'm like, oh, there's hope. I knew it. I knew there was going to be a mass exodus off of Facebook, and it's coming. People don't want it anymore. And I was like, yes, I found my people. And yet, how do we come together and build this and communicate and connect resources? I feel like that's the big need here, is communication and connection and real time. Like, I hear a need, I know who can fill it. You know, I hear a need, I can point you. Like, it's people. I feel like this coalition, I'm getting chills, because maybe that's the true purpose in this community, is to connect the dots. And what's weird, this is really weird, I was thinking, it hit me last night. I'm like, when I moved back to town 11 years ago, oh my God, 12 years ago, but it was around 11 years ago is when this idea really took hold, when I really felt this need. Is I'm like, I moved back to town not really understanding my community, and I'm like, what even is there here? And I felt like I wanted to go out and be understanding and connecting dots. And I even remember at the time I like registered a domain name, I built a website, and like I was like throwing a solution at a problem I didn't quite understand. And there was a lot of that last night. There was a lot of going in with solutions, but it was like, wait, we don't really understand the problems yet, right? And this is me being all logical. There's value in throwing a bunch of solutions, like, oh my God, great, this group has a lot of great ideas, a lot of motivation, a lot of great instincts. And then it's like, okay, now that we've got all this, it's like that synthesizing piece was like, oh, the subtext of like what I'm hearing is the real problem is we don't really have great networking. We don't really understand how to connect dots for people. We don't really understand how to understand what the problems are. It's like, this I think is going to be truly is a coalition, like a coalescing of our knowledge within the community, and building these bridges, like filling in the gaps, connecting the dots, whatever analogy you want to use. I feel like that's maybe what this group desires to do, is to like coalesce all of that, be the cohesion. Yeah, there's something about that. So this is me reflecting on that, because it's hard to do without speaking it. for me nowadays. So anyway, I practiced I am the light of the world a lot in each of those moments here, tying it all back together here. That's why I described each of those, because a lot of yesterday was me, this is interesting, in witness mode. And this is funny because there are star words, S-T-A-R, star words, where every year, I don't know, every year, but they've done it in the past at the church, and I've had a word before in the past. And I think my word before was acceptance, which is funny because I just did this whole idea of acceptance was coming in the last few days. So anyway, my star word, I got to pick a new one yesterday because I wasn't here. They do it at the beginning of the year, and I wasn't going at the beginning of the year, but now I'm there now. And I picked the word out of a basket, like, and it was witness. Witness. And I'm like, oh, I love this word. I love it so much. I do. I love the word witness. To witness. To just hold space and witness is what I try to bring to my practice. My massage, bodywork, craniosacral, Reiki practice. Like, to witness versus like interject or control or guide. It's more about allowing, accepting, and witnessing. And yesterday I felt like I am the light of the world. I was in, and then after getting that star word, which was funny, it's like I was in pure witness mode and just trying to just be the light. And I did feel like nothing weighed me down yesterday, even during some very heavy political, dense, emotional, challenging discussion. The discussion wasn't challenging. It was just the emotions. My past self would have been like, oh, that's hard. Let me help fix you. Let me help make you feel better. And no, I was just witnessing and being like, yeah, I feel that. This is hard. These are hard times, and feeling and being just, I am the light of the world, being that light in every scenario I was in yesterday. I was feeling into that lightness. And it helped me feel present with each person who was sharing what they were going through. And in the middle part of the day during that group activity with the tension releasing, I was witnessing everyone in their discomfort. So many people were there because they had really like body challenges. People not able to lie, just simply lying flat on the floor. And I know that's a common thing because I see it in my practice. I use a bolster under the knees. A lot of people need a pillow under the heads. Like they need bolstered, cushioned, comforted. And to lie flat on the floor even is just hard for so many people. And to do simple movements, what we think is simple is like, I can't do this anymore. I've gone to my capacity, or I can only go so far. And no amount of adjusting or coaching or guiding is going to change that. And so it's witnessing, being the light, not trying to interject intervention and help and guidance and cheerleading. Now maybe internally I was cheerleading, but mostly I was witnessing and just being present with each conversation or each thing I was experiencing. And it was like so refreshing. And it was so fitting for a Sunday, I think, where the rest of the week was just action-based. And then to have a Sunday where it's just like witnessing. And witnessing that sound at my door, which means Jelly Bean wants in. Hold on. So I want to read a couple things from, I know we've gone long, but this is more about, oh, see, I know you are going to want right back out. I can tell. And he was trying, my chair flipped around, so he's like, how do I get in it? Yeah, now I know how to keep you out of it longer until I get to sit back down and turn off my heater. I'm having a hot flash. So anyway, I wanted to read. So it says, I am the light of the world. That is my only function. That is why I'm here. Yeah? So get up in your chair. Yeah. Hi, good morning. Oh, no personal space. But that's okay. I love you. So what I wanted to read is a couple things, because when you say I'm the light of the world, you might think, well, that's pretty egotistical of you. No, they address this. What? He is clawing at my shirt. Who is the light of the world except God's Son? Which, in this book, they also talk about Jesus as God's Son, but also us as God's sons. So, children. Oh my God. Okay, so when I have a hot flash and he rubs under my chin, now I have a cat fur beard right now. It just stuck right to me because I'm a hot, sweaty lady. Who is the light of the world except God's Son? I'm trying to read. This, then, is merely a statement of the truth about yourself. It is the opposite of a statement of pride or arrogance or of self-deception. I know. It does not describe the self-concept you have made. It does not refer to any of the characteristics with which you have endowed your idols. It refers to you as you were created by God. It simply states the truth. I loved that, because you might think, I can't say this. I'm the light of the world. It's too big. It's too much. It's too ego-driven. No, it's the opposite of that. And by this point, if you've gone through all 60 lessons up to this point, you already know that. So it actually doesn't make you think that by the time you actually get here. I am the light of the world. But if this is your first time hearing it, you might be like, yeah, check yourself. No, it's not about pride or ego. To the ego, today's idea is the epitome of self-glorification. But the ego does not understand humility, mistaking it for self-debasement. Humility consists of accepting your role in salvation and taking no other. It is not humility to insist you cannot be the light of the world if that is the function God assigned to you. Thank you. It is only arrogance that would assert this function cannot be for you, and arrogance is always of the ego. So there, it flipped the script. Oh, this cat is so cuddly. If you could feel him right now, look at his fur body. He's like, oh, so soft. It's so soft. He's got like a little lion's mane. Okay. You're also, the flip side of that is, now I have a fur body. So I think, yeah, this lesson goes far beyond ego, far beyond pride, and it just states what is. It just states the facts of you are a light of God. I'm sorry, you are the light of the world. That is your only function, and that's why you're here. So be that in the world. Be that for other people. And be a witness. You know, witness doesn't mean doing nothing. I felt fully engaged every step of the way yesterday. I was fully present, fully engaged, yet very silent for the most part, and in witness mode. And I was projecting, hopefully people felt it, but I was trying to project. I just wasn't really trying. I was just saying, I am the light of the world. Whenever I'd remember it, feeling into like, we're all the light of the world. That's what we're all doing right now. Even if we're complaining about what we're challenged by, you know, whether it's our culture or state of political affairs, our own feelings in our body because of discomforts and restriction. Even in the complaining, we are the light of the world. And sometimes it's like you just need to hear people empathize with you. So we're all shining lights at each other. And that's what we're meant to do, is witness each other. Be the light of the world. So anyway, I loved this lesson. I loved it. So I think that's long enough. You got like way too much description of my day, but I don't know. Was it too much? I don't know. So thanks for watching, and I hope you have a great start to your amazing week ahead.